There's a woman that's going to bring up something that we need to discuss once again about, especially you fellas, getting involved with single mothers. And especially you fellas that don't have no kids at all. I want you to listen to what this woman has to say because we need to talk about another variable to this particular argument about loving the kids just as much as you love her.
Fellas, if you choose to get into a relationship or be in a relationship with a woman who already has kids prior to y'all being together, you're supposed to love those kids just as much as you love that woman, if not even more. Okay? Because if you're not ready to take on that responsibility of you feeling like those ain't my kids, those ain't my no, that's not a man. You're supposed to look at those kids like if they were your kids. You're supposed to love them kids. Treat them good, like if they were your kids. I'm sorry. If you can't do that, then don't be with a woman who has kids. Like, don't be with somebody who has kids because how you gonna love the woman but don't treat the kids right? Like, you don't love her either. If you can't love her kids, you don't love her either.
Now let's talk about the flip side to this. Okay, fine. If he loved those kids just as much as he loved you, and he wants to discipline them on some things because they're doing wrong, well, since it's now his kids, you can't say anything. But some instances, you don't talk to my children that way. Don't treat my child that way. Don't do this, don't do that. But I thought you wanted him to treat him like his own, right? If he say, hey, I don't want her dressing like that, that's not right. That's my daughter. You can't tell my daughter this and that and the third. Well, I thought you wanted him to treat your daughter like his own. And so he's saying she shouldn't go out dressed like that because that's not appropriate to be out dressing like that. You understand what I'm saying? See, in some instances, you don't want the man to have no say so, but you want to get all the good from the man, like provision. And that's one of the main things, provision for your children and him being there like a father figure for your children. But when it comes to the discipline and things that come along with outside of that, some of you don't want that at all, right? Oh, they got their own daddy. They don't need you to do this and that and the third. Well, why did you get in a relationship with that man at all? You should just might well just get back with your child's father. And then on the flip side of some of that, that's why I always tell young men who don't have any children, do not date single mothers. I believe single mothers and single fathers need to be together because they have more in common. I've always said that because if you're a single man and don't have any children, you're going to be dealing with things that you should not be dealing with, like the child's father. Why should you be dealing with that? You don't have no children. You understand? You don't have children, so how do you even know how to rear children as of yet? You don't know anything. And you coming into a situation, it's a lot of you young black men. I've seen this with y'all. You don't have children. This woman sometimes got 2-3 kids, and you getting involved with this woman, and she already got 2-3 kids. Why, bruh? You don't feel enough for yourself that you want a woman that eventually, okay, if you get married to her, you make your own family? Listen, if you're a single black man, you don't get with no ready-made families. That's for black men who already have children. And then they can get with those single mothers and then they can, because I'm not saying single mothers shouldn't have nobody. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is single mothers need to get with single fathers and they need to be together. But you men that don't have no children, I don't know why you sitting up here taking on kids that's not yours. Then the baby daddy calling and the baby daddy got access to the woman and all kind of things that go on with that, right? That you shouldn't be putting up with. You being a single man with no children. I believe you should respect yourself enough to say, no, I'm not dealing with no woman with no kids. I don't have no kids. I want a woman with no kids that we have children together. And that's just that. And there's nothing wrong with that. Have some respect for yourself. Why should you go into a situation where a woman telling you that? Love them as your own. You ain't even had a kid yet. So how could you even know how to relate to loving a child as your own? That's only for single fathers to do that already have a child and know how to love a child like his own because he got one. You feel me? So I'm just trying to prevent some issues because I see too many of y'all single brothers out here with no kids booing up with these single mothers. And why? I don't get it. I just don't get it. But it goes once again back to that low self-esteem you have. You just want attention from a woman. You don't care what the situation is. If she have a certain look that you deem attractive, she can have 5 kids. You still get with her, but that's your low self-esteem. That's really what that comes from. Y'all